Hello, my name is Ushahemba Shir. Welcome to my tech series. Before you proceed to watch this video, if you haven't liked my YouTube page, you can go ahead and do that before you continue. So basically, these are series where I take time to talk about technology, and this is actually the first episode, and I'll be talking about introduction to web development. A lot of people have met me, a lot of people that know the fact that I'm into web do ask me, do indicate interest to also go into web development. And this question always comes, I want to be a web developer, where should I start? So I will try to be brief. So if you want to be a web developer, there are basically three technologies to start with. Number one, HTML. Number two, CSS. And number three is JavaScript. I'll go ahead to give a brief description of what each of these stands for. So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it is responsible for content. When you visit a website, all the content that appears on the site is the work of HTML, and it's relatively very simple. It's not that difficult to learn. So it's more of opening and closing tags, and you will find it very interesting. So aside HTML, we have CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. It is responsible for positioning. When you visit a web page, you see the content, and there's a way the content is positioned. You could see menu bar, you could see home, you could see services, you could see some things appear big, you could see some content appear small, some content appear by the left, others could appear in columns, in rows, different positioning, and that is the work of CSS. So CSS is also relatively a bit simple, at least the basic, the fundamentals. You will also find it very interesting. So aside these two, the next technology you will need to learn is JavaScript. JavaScript is a programming language. It's a bit different from HTML and CSS. It is a programming language. This is where you go into reprogramming, and your JavaScript is responsible for all the actions. So anytime you visit a web page and you carry out any action, like maybe you are doing some registration or buying something online, anything you click and an action performed, that is the work of JavaScript. And it's a bit much more advanced because it's a programming language. So you have to learn the basics of programming, beginning with data types, learning about variables, functions, loop, iteration, and a lot of all these programming concepts. So in summary, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And it's not very difficult to start. Once you have your computer, you can start. You have a lot of platforms online like W3 Schools. We have a lot of these platforms that can help you to get started. So once you have your laptop and you have access to internet, you can go ahead and get started. So I encourage you to give a try. Who knows, you might find it interesting and go into it and pursue your career out of it. Thank you very much for watching.